It's the spring of 1980, and with Liverpool threatening to run away with the title, the big match cameras were at Selhurst Park to find out if Manchester United could keep up the pressure on the league leaders. Terry Venables' fast improving Crystal Palace stood in their way.
And welcome again to the big match. And today on the programme, action that is bristling with goals and incident as we bring you Crystal Palace against Manchester United, supported by the other Manchester club, City, against Bolton Wanderers. And what drama there was there. And also a critical game at the top of the 4th Division where Walsall met Peterborough amid a flurry of goals. It was also a day when father watched son, Roy Bailey, fresh from South Africa, here to see his Manchester United goalkeeping son, Gary. And you can hear what they have to say about each other later in the programme. But first to Selhurst Park on a grey and a blustery day when Manchester United arrived with the need to win in order to continue presenting any challenge at all to Liverpool at the top. And in their side, two men have already made a pretty good start to the week.
Steve Coppell on the right played such an important part in England's impressive victory in Spain on Wednesday night. And Ray Wilkins on the left there was another outstanding success in Barcelona. And between them, they fashioned that brilliant second goal for Trevor Francis. Now Coppell and Wilkins line up in an unchanged Manchester United side that also includes Jimmy Nicholl and Sammy McElroy, who played for Northern Ireland in a World Cup game in Israel on Wednesday. It's an unchanged United, the one that beat Manchester City last week, with Mickey Thomas having recovered from a slight thigh injury. In goal for Crystal Palace today is 20-year-old David Fry. He's in because John Burridge is still out of action with a shoulder injury, his 5th appearance of the season. Palace getting back into a good run now, unbeaten in their last 5 games, and they had a 1-1 draw with United up at Old Trafford in November, but now make a late change. Jerry Murphy injured an ankle playing for the Republic of Ireland in Cyprus this week, and Terry Fenwick takes his place. The referee today is Lester Shapter from Newton Abbot. As you'd expect, there's a big crowd here at Selhurst Park, and after so much rain, also a very heavy pitch. And a great atmosphere here as Manchester United get us away, attacking the goal to our right. Red shirts, black shorts today. Crystal Palace in that all-white strip with the diagonal bands. Martin Buchan putting the ball away. United beaten only once in the last 6, but then they were beaten comprehensively then. That day they'll want to forget at Ipswich. Their record is good of late, so too is Palace's. Both sides still looking for a place in the UEFA Cup next season, particularly Manchester United. And here's Flanagan, stopped again by Martin Buchan. Well, only half stopped. And in the end, Jerry Francis was right in there. Well, what a tangle United were getting themselves in there. And there's a foul which gives a free kick to Manchester United. It's not a corner. Which Gary Bailey will take. In fact, it is probably a goal kick. The ball may well just have gone over the byline. Sanson. Francis, Hilaire. Nicholl. Planting it forward here for Jordan. Played on for Coppell again by Jordan. Still with Coppell, getting it to the byline, and in the end, Fenwick really hustled him and had in the end to concede a corner. Jordan, the menace in the air for Crystal Palace's defence. McQueen up on the goal line, immediately ahead of young David Fry in the Palace goal. A bad corner, though. And Macari very nearly nonetheless got it through. Here's Wilkins. Well, he missed his kick completely. Throw not taken from the right place. And back to Fry. Here's Cannon. And Buchan away again for Manchester United. Coppell now to Wilkins, but cut out again. And now Peter Nicholas. Wilkins is after him, and Wilkins brought him down, and well, the tempers rose a little bit there. Nicholas not at all happy the way he was brought down. So Gary Bailey organises his wall with Wilkins, Thomas, McElroy in it. And Flanagan joining in as the interloper. Macari has joined it also. And Fenwick will take the free kick. Floated in there towards Hinchelwood and towards Cannon, but straight into the arms of Bailey. Cannon getting in a good header there, but straight to Bailey. Jordan, cut out by Sanson, but Wilkins was there to reach it. Fenwick. Hilaire. Walsh and Nicol. It's a Palace throw. It's a bit cold out there too, as well as windy. Sanson's throw. Touchdown by Walsh to Hilaire, trying to play that on, but couldn't quite get it through to Fenwick. Hinchelwood to Hilaire. On to Hinchelwood. Good play by Palace. A good break by Paul Hinchelwood. And a nice cross coming in, and Jimmy Nicol getting there. But Hinchelwood will take it up again. Albiston closing on him. Blazing it wide here for Nicholas. In for Hilaire. Lovely play. And a shot across the goal. Oh, brilliant stuff. And a brilliant save by Gary Bailey at the end. From Peter Nicholas. A really lovely piece of football right the way through there by Crystal Palace, and in the end a good piece of keeping by Gary Bailey. Walsh. Flanagan, whose shot it was a moment ago and not Nicholas. Handball there to Crystal Palace. Handball by Lou Macari. Francis with it. Floating in there towards Hinchelwood, but plenty of big men up for United to get it away, but nobody up there now to continue it. Well, they've all come rushing out. That's a great picture. And in fact, there was a Palace offside. But it's worth looking again at that United tactic. You can see them all there. The whole side, bar Gary Bailey, rushing out there, and in the end, catching Crystal Palace offside. Hilaire. And now Koppel. Nicol. Quarter of an hour to half-time. Albiston, Thomas. And Jordan with the header! 1-0 to Manchester United. A thundering header by Jordan. Well, that's little expression there says it all. A slick move down the left, and the cross slung in just the way Joe Jordan likes them. What a powerful header that was. Palace 0, Manchester United 1. Joe Jordan. Well, the crowd have been giving Jordan some stick from the very first kick of the game. And I suppose he feels that he's answered them in the best possible way now. Well, that's the United end with a good deal to shout about. And that man's given it to them. That's something that Dave Sexton, the manager, will be pleased to see for Manchester United. Of course, he used to play for Crystal Palace way back as well. Free kick, a foul by Gordon McQueen. They've taken it already. And Nicholas finding Sanson. Back for Nicholas. And now Gilbert. Hilaire. Oh, a neat little overhead there. Flanagan's trying to get on it. Swept just wide by Ian Walsh. Well, it was Hilaire's overhead kick that suddenly opened the way there. Flanagan had a hand in it too. And it was swept there towards goal by Ian Walsh, but just wide of the post. Free kick to Palace, already taken, and taken quickly by Hilaire. Now Walsh again, stopped though by Buchan. Sanson, played in again. Flanagan playing it back for Kenny Sampson, into the middle again, and that time it was Alveston. They're defending well, United. But that was a very good break indeed again by Crystal Palace. Again with the men from the back making the most of the space that's offered them. Hilaire. Well, they thought it was a handball, but didn't appeal with any great conviction. A United throw. He's had a terrific game as Martin Buchan, and Gary Bailey has made that one very good save from Flanagan. But it's Jimmy Nicholl with the throw. Joe Jordan. Straight to Nicholas. Inchwood letting it go for Fenwick, and he kept that in well. A little cross coming in towards Flanagan. McQueen is up there. Walsh with a shot, and he didn't get the right sort of contact. And here's McElroy. Amazing the change of conditions for McElroy and Nicholl. McElroy was saying before the game they played in Israel. They're offside there in Israel on Wednesday for Northern Ireland, when the temperature was 82 degrees and enormous humidity in the middle of a very hot afternoon on a very hard pitch. Well, it's not quite like that today. 2 against 1 as Buchan and Alveston get back quickly in the face of the threat of Walsh. Into time added on at the end of the first half now. It'll come to Fenwick. Crowd urging him to get a shot in there. Well, it'll come to Hilaire. He might. He might indeed. Oh, he's done too much, surely. Oh, just passed there by Terry Fenwick. Gary Bailey looking daggers at the defence, who dithered a little bit there. But all that skill from Vince Hilaire came to nothing, and then Fenwick saw a chance, and look how close that was to going in. Well, the half-time whistle has just gone, with United going in, 1 goal into the lead, scored by Joe Jordan. And really the thing about their play in the first half has been how well they've defended. They defended in such depth and with such organisation. And indeed, I think we could have a really promising second half on our hands. With a half-time score here at Selhurst Park, which is Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 1. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Selhurst Park, where Manchester United are leading Crystal Palace 1-0. Broad smiles on the face of the Manchester United fans when the loudspeaker announced that Liverpool were losing at Tottenham at half-time. Maybe they feel that this race is not over yet at the top of the First Division, and certainly on their performance in the first half, particularly in defence, United looking very strong and very sure. In fact, they've had 5 clean sheets out of the last 6 games they've played, which is an idea of the sort of task that faces Crystal Palace to get back into this game this afternoon. Koppel. David Fry just touching it out there. Really had nothing to do much in the first half apart from pick the ball out of the net from Joe Jordan's header. Walsh battling away with Buchan. Nicholl playing it back. And offside against Macari. Koppel. A characteristic run of Koppel's. He's so difficult to shake off the ball. There's next to nothing of him. And now Wilkins for McElroy. With support from Thomas, but McElroy wants to go on his own. And Curlman in there for Fry to grab nicely, got well behind it. Did David Fry. He played in an FA Cup tie, this Palace goalkeeper, when he was only 15 for Weymouth at Gillingham. Now it's with Walsh. Crossed in again, and a header! Well, Flanagan's header, well grabbed by Bailey. Good cross and a good acrobatic header by Mick Flanagan. And Bailey held onto it well. For all the pressure they've had in the first half and for these opening minutes in the second, they've made very few real chances, Palace, because of the efficiency of this United defence. But they've got a corner now. So Fenwick will take the corner. And the atmosphere's really built up again. Well, that might come for Nicholas! Well, the corner was only half cleared. And Nicholas caught it on the volley. Now Hinchelwood. Jordan's after him. Hinchelwood did well there. Found Terry Fenwick. A nice curling cross in there towards Flanagan. And Walsh hit it over. I thought for a moment Flanagan might have had a go at that. That was crossed in superbly by Terry Fenwick, who's having a really good game. Flanagan, I thought might have had a go, but he tried to get it back for Walsh. McElroy. Cross by him towards Joe Jordan. Corner for Manchester United. The Palace fans, as you can hear, trying to get behind their team with the cry of Eagles, even though it's United on the attack at the moment as Koppel takes this corner. Floated again towards Joe Jordan, and it's for Gordon McQueen, kicked off the line by Jerry Francis. And Macari's header going behind for the goal kick. Well, that could so easily have been the game beyond the reach of Crystal Palace, except that Jerry Francis somehow got that effort off the line from Gordon McQueen. But it's Hilaire at the moment, and it's a corner. Which Francis will take, and indeed has already taken. It's with Vince Hilaire. Played for Fenwick. Nicholas. And again, Flanagan. Being forced out again. It's a good bit of play there by Cannon, playing it wide for Vince Hilaire. Little cross coming into the box there. And Walsh was almost there. Jerry Francis might be there, and Hilaire in the end. Crosser there by Vince Hilaire. And it looked for one moment for Palace that Ian Walsh might just get there. But it wasn't to be. Forward for Flanagan, now for Sanson. Played in quickly there towards Walsh. Nodded down again. Flanagan with a shot. Oh! And Gary Bailey grabbed it as it jumped off his chest. That shot from Flanagan. A bit of shouting and arm waving going there on the Palace bench at the moment. Now it's Cannon. Now Hilaire. McElroy, Koppel. touch there. Koppel hoping to get on the end of it, but Fry again dived in there. Makari, Wilkins, Nicol. Thomas, Ulverston, Thomas. Will he let fly, is he? What a goal! Mickey Thomas, 2-0. Well, you had a beautiful view of that. And he'd been thinking about that for a second or two before he'd hit it, and the chance was there, the range was right, the direction was absolutely perfect, beyond the flying David Fry, into the corner of the Crystal Palace net. Mickey Thomas the scorer, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 2. So more cheering from Manchester, and it could well be all up now for Crystal Palace. Cannon for Palace. Walsh. Queen closing him down so quickly. That's a nice ball played there by Gilbert for Sanson. That should be no problems. In the end, it had to be just pushed away there by Gary Bailey under pressure from Jerry Francis. In fact, there was a foul on the keeper. Well, certainly Palace have had so much more of it, but they've been taught very strongly by Manchester United how to defend, because it's in defence more than attack, really, that United have been so impressive in this game. Well, Buchan absolutely outstanding, and in fact he's the sole survivor of that United side that came here 8 years ago and were beaten 5 goals by Palace. There's Buchan in there again. It's had a real storming match, and it's through his determination that Ray Wilkins gets to push a curious ball out there, because it's not as though United want to just eat up time. Well into injury time. United 2 goals to the good. And it's over. Mickey Thomas's goal in the second half, sealing it. After that, and that was a terrific shot in itself, after that thundering header from Joe Jordan had put United on the way in the first half. The United performance where they really defended more impressively than they attacked, but they got the goals that mattered and the points that went with it. Palace without a great deal of penetration, even though they had so much more of the play. So a final score then here at Selhurst Park. And it's Crystal Palace 0, Manchester United 2.
And while Manchester United were winning 2-0, as you probably know, Liverpool were losing by the same margin at Tottenham, which really closes things up at the top. As you can see, just 4 points separating the two sides now. And to think that Liverpool have to go to Manchester United next Saturday. And the new situation wasn't lost on one of United's goal scorers yesterday, Joe Jordan. And I suggested that it really was a good, solid United performance.
Yeah, we had a wee bit sticky spell earlier on, but obviously you expect that coming away from home, and we got through that. And then as we started the second half, I thought we controlled the game, and we got 2 goals and we created a few other chances. And as you say, I think it was a good professional performance.
Particularly in defence, actually, isn't it?
Yes, well, they were a home team and they put a lot of pressure on, but the boys at the back and in the middle of the park, they coped up, and they played really well. As I say, it was professional, and they never panicked at any stage of the game.
And Mickey Thomas had a hand in both the goals. His was, of course, a beautiful one, and then the cross.
Well, I've got to thank him for a cross early on in the first half. He just made it quite easy. A great ball in it, near post, and I met it correctly.
But it was so much power in it as well. I mean,
well, it was a firm ball, and I just managed to get, I think it was Jim Cannon that was marking me, and I just happened to get in front of him and to dive. So I met the ball with a lot of force, yes. And I went in with a wee bit of force too.
Because the crowd had given you a bit of stick for some reason from the very first whistle of the game. I mean, that's one way of answering.
Yes, it is. I was delighted to see it again.
Yes. How does this United side now fare? I mean, you've played in a fair number of them over the years now, Joe. I mean, how does this one compare?
Well, I think we've come through a lot of sticky spells, especially like last month we had a bad patch here, and it all stemmed from getting beat at Ipswich. I think we're showing a lot of character. We come back gradually, you know. We had lost a lot of confidence, and I think today is a marked improvement in that, and I think we can go from strength to strength. But we've got 8 games to go, and to be truthful, I think we've got to be positive and try and win them all.
Well, as the Palace manager Terry Venables said afterwards, we had so much of the game, but our finishing was not up to the mark. United certainly gave us a lesson in how to score goals. And one of the real pleasures yesterday was to have Roy Bailey, former Palace and Ipswich goalkeeper, and father of Manchester United's Gary Bailey, on the commentary platform with us, even though he was shivering away after so much South African sun on his back. Roy, in fact, is on a brief visit from South Africa, and he gave us a chance to get the Baileys together after the game.
First of all, Roy, welcome to this country from South Africa. You've seen Gary play how often since you've been over?
Twice. He played against City last week, and didn't do bad. Played a bit better today. He's coming along, Brian.
So a 1-0 and a 2-0. You've not seen him pick the ball out the net yet?
No, but he's behind some good players, so I don't think it's because of him. Yeah. But he hasn't scored.
What did you feel about his performance, though? Are they getting better? You were telling me that he's showing signs of improvement.
Definitely, yes. I'm being serious now. He's matured. He's growing up, and he's not making the silly mistakes he was a year ago, which is natural. And they want to expect for him to do well behind this lot, because they're not a bad side, especially the defence. So.
I must say, he seems a bit grudging in his praise.
Oh, he's been like that ever since he started coaching me in football many years ago, and he sets a very high standard for me, and which is good, I think, because if you set a low standard, you might achieve it, and you've got nothing to aim for. But he sets a very high standard.
Yes.
He literally wants perfection.
Yes. But going back to Gary, when did you first realise, hey, I've got a really good goalkeeper on my hands here?
I think when he was about 14, he was always interested, and I must say that I wasn't. I would have liked to have gone into cricket, because at those days, I'd seen it so often where people were saying, well, he wouldn't be as good as his old man and all that, and I felt perhaps he'd be good at cricket or something. Anyway, he wouldn't have anything to do with it. He wanted to be a footballer, and I tried to persuade him to play out a goal. Wouldn't have that, so I said, okay, if you want to be a goalkeeper, I'll do my utmost for you. And we got on very well. But many people, Brian, have said to me, you know, he's lucky to have an old man that's been in football, United, Harry Gregg, expert goalkeeping coach and all that. But I think one must say here and now that he's done it himself. Whatever he's done it himself. He's made me coach him, because there's many a time when I've come home from work and all I wanted was a brandy and a paper to read, and there he would be at the back door with his cap and gloves and a ball saying, come on, Dad, just half an hour. And many times I've moaned about him, but it was that enthusiasm got him through.
And how did you come to join United?
I came back. Dad said to me when I was about 19 that he had taught me all he could teach me at the level of football in South Africa, which is about 4th division level. And he said, if you want to really be good and perhaps play for England, then you've got to go back to England and play there. So I came across of my own accord when I was about 19 and asked Dave Sexton for a trial and joined them the day before Christmas Day in 1977.
Yeah, you remember that well.
Yeah,
I remember it well, because we was in Cape Town. It's the summer out there at Christmas. And I got a phone call the day before Christmas, and as far as I knew, he was in Germany. And I said, where are you phoning from? Because you know what it's like, Brian, it was a reverse charge call, as usual. Yeah. And I thought, where the hell is he phoning from now, you know? Yeah. And he said, I'm phoning from Manchester. I said, no, don't bugger about. Where are you? He said, I'm in Manchester. He said, in actual fact, they want me to sign for them. And that was the first I knew. And,
what a story. What a Christmas present there as well.
It was for you, but then I got the phone bill.
Mind you, I tell you, he's got the one great quality, the keeper. He doesn't lack for confidence, does he?
Oh, he's like his mother there.
Is that right?
Not at all. He's not with the confidence.
Roy and Gary Bailey, and it's good to see them together. Welcome back. And now we go into the 4th division, where Walsall, with player-manager Alan Buckley, Well, they seem to be running away with the title, starting the day 7 points clear of everyone else. Now they face Peterborough United themselves, well within a shout of promotion, in 6th place. A crowd of nearly 6,000 at Fellows Park for this one, and it was covered by ATV with commentator Hugh Johns, Walsall in the white shorts.
So Mick Lambert with the corner. High hanging ball and missed then by Ron Green. So another corner, right side this time. Robson will take this one. Here's Robson's corner. That's a good try. Billy Kellogg got there, twisted his neck muscles, and that was an excellent try. Robson's corner, swinging in. And Billy Kellogg leapt high, twisted the neck muscles, just over the bar. It was a great try. Mickey Ginn now for Peterborough. Attacking fast, straight down the middle. Ran it too far. So Jimmy Williams feeds that off to Caswell. Buckley is stretched wide to the right. Buckley going against Slough. This ball in, and a beautiful goal then for Mark Rees. Oh, he took that one so casually. Mark Rees, 1-0 Walsall. 25 minutes of the game gone. That ball knocked beautifully across to Buckley. As Slough came to him, he slipped the Peterborough defender. And this was a made-to-measure pass, going across to the youngster Mark Rees. And look at the casual skill that he knocks it into the net. Ping! Oh, a beauty. Just over half an hour played, still 1-0 Walsall. Long throw. And a great try from Waddington, hit the post. Well, that was a fine snapshot. There was nothing on. Curls in, gets a touch on from Penn. First time snapshot from Waddington by the goalkeeper onto the post, and he was lucky to get a second bite. Alan Slough then for Peterborough as we come closer and closer to half-time. Robson. Ball off to Ginn. Mackin covering. Waddington. Kellogg wins it back. Now it's Ginn for Peterborough. Lambert. That curling ball. And the shot from Robson. Now Kellogg. That's a beautiful equaliser. It was on the cards, and Billy Kellogg does it again. Remarkable scoring run this man is having. 43 minutes of the first half gone. The coolness of Billy Kellogg when this ball comes down to him, really quite remarkable. Robson, now Kellogg turns, buries it. Beautiful. Robson, ball into Kliss. Stroked across to Lambert. Lambert, a very expensive signing from Ipswich. Chip, oh! That was a naughty one. And that was a very good save by Ron Green. Mick Lambert judged that win perfectly. Little chip then, that was curling in under the bar until Green got up there and put it over. Waddington. Jimmy Williams giving this a chase. Alan Slough was there. Phillips forward. Spragia high in the air. The ball curls back with the wind. Slough. Lambert from Kliss, and now Kellogg. Good searching ball for Robson. Hard ball across. Oh, and it comes to Chard to drive. And that was another good save by Green. Phil Chard, the man who gave that one some hammer. The wind taking it to him. And here's the shot. And Green just flipped it out. Jim for Lambert. Long sweeping pass then for McVeigh. Robson. Kellogg got a touch. Stuck back in there again for Lambert. Oh yes, a good try and a super save. That was a touch of class from Mick Lambert. Skill of the first division at Ipswich in that one. The way Lambert made the space for his shot. He tucked that one away. That was a wonderful save from Green. Ball dropping off to Chard. Gets it away well on the turn. Robson. Check. Kellett joining in. Robson. Lambert, the man lurking in the penalty area, comes out to look for this ball, and Ginn into the box. Oh, good goal, Mickey Ginn. Nothing wrong with that. And Peterborough supporters behind that goal go absolutely wild. Their side in front. 19 minutes of the second half gone. Sweeping pass across the face of the goals. There's a little dummy here by Lambert, and Mickey Ginn creeping in unnoticed on the far side. Beats his man, buries it on the near post. Very good goal. Williams getting in the way of Tony Cliss. Free kick to Peterborough. Kellett is going to try one, and that took a deflection and goes straight in. Oh, what a goal. 3-1. Peterborough, 22 minutes. What a shocker. Billy Kellett's second goal of the game. Peterborough fans can't believe it. Poor Ron Green doesn't believe it either. Let's see who that hit. Yes, it hit Jimmy Williams, I think. Nice little touch for Mackin. Running up a blind alley there. Caswell trying to get there. The ball comes down to Buckley. And Penn will score. Yes, he has. 3-2. Gone Penn. So, 34 minutes gone. 3-2 the score. That was Mackin knocking it long across the far post. They didn't get the clearance. Buckley chips it back, and look at Don Penn squeeze his header in on that far post. Just creeps it in.
Well, in spite of that defeat, Walsall still have that 6-point lead at the top of the 4th Division, followed by Huddersfield. And then Portsmouth, who lost at Lincoln yesterday, slipping a little bit, and Newport are making a charge. They won yesterday. And Peterborough, with that victory, still just about staying in the hunt there. Quite a battle. Our last match today takes us back to the 1st Division for Manchester City, who've not won a 1st Division match since December the 15th, against Bolton Wanderers, who are practically certain now to be relegated. Indeed, it's a real relegation scrap at Main Road, covered by Granada Television, with Gerald Sinstad as the commentator, and Manchester City in the slightly darker shirts.
Novak tackled. Cantello. Wilson. And lost by Clement. Palmer. Daly has got away. Palmer calling for it back. Bad clearance out. Powers still waiting. Powers cross. Jewett. And a goal from Jewett. Dennis Jewett celebrates his return to Main Road with his first goal in his second spell with Manchester City. Parr knocks the cross deep. Jewett gets a foot to it, and McDonough seems to be mispositioned. Bolton finding it very difficult to work the ball out of their own half for the last quarter of an hour or so, but here are possibilities through Carter, with Novak in the middle offside. No! And the ball just wide, with the linesman's flag staying down. Carter made the break. Novak was in position, but couldn't apply the finish. Really wondered there whether Novak had got too far ahead, but there was no flag from the linesman. Corrigan's rush out did enough to put Novak off. Daly. Too high for Palmer to have much chance, really. Jones out of the penalty area, straight to Nicky Reed. Nicky Reed again. And here's Stewart for his second of the game. Marking all went wrong, and it was simply a matter of whether Stewart could control it and turn it in. And turn it in he did. City worked it a couple of times out on the left, and when the cross was not long, Stewart was free to score his second of the game. Cigar will taste very good for Malcolm Addison with a 2-goal lead 2 minutes into the second half. Clement. Novak ready to make a run through the middle, but nobody aware. It was a foul by Nicky Reed. Cantello. It's an easy header out for Caton. Peter Reed will try and set something going again for Bolton. Novak, and Reed had gone to support him, and that made the gap for Novak. Carter. Carter very confident and very clever on the ball. Good cross. What a beautiful goal that was from Watmore. And how much of the credit goes to Carter. Sort of skill that Bolton fans used to love from Frank Worthington, and Watmore getting low for a very good goal to capitalise on Carter's skill. Some really superb tight skills here from Carter. He's gone past 3, and that's the 4th, and how beautifully judged that cross was, and a brave diving header finishes it off. Daly is there, Stewart is behind Daly. Daly can get it across himself. Walsh heads out, still not very far. Bolton not really getting this ball clear when they have the chance, and it's very muddled and scrambly in there. Really could go anywhere. Caton will have a try. It was deflected. McDonough saved well, and saved well at the second attempt from Palmer. Tommy Caton let go a very good drive. Palmer had a go at the rebound, but McDonough was equal to them both. But there was some very muddled defence there, which gave Caton his chance. I think there may have been a deflection. McDonough saved well once and well again. And now Cantello to drive one well, and what a very good save from Joe Corrigan. Cantello hit that extremely well. It was hard and it was accurate. That's a very good shot from Cantello, and what a good save it was too from Corrigan. Novak fouled, and it's a free kick. Well, Bolton have to hurry. There are not going to be many more chances, and Corrigan found a very good punch to deal with that one. Nicholson fouled, free kick to Bolton. The Bolton fans now just trying to lift their team for one last heave. Played nearly a minute over the 45. Boo the good header out. Nicholson turning it wide. Corrigan appealing for offside, which is not given. Now they ask for handball, and it's been given against Ranson. It's a penalty. Ranson clearly thought he'd got that on his chest. Now, what happens here? Oh, that was handball, all right. No doubt whatsoever. So, a minute and a half over the 45. A chance for Bolton Wanderers to salvage a point. Peter Reed, 2-2. Reed gets the goal. The Bolton fans are on their feet, and Bolton have stolen a point. Well taken penalty, no chance for Joe Corrigan.
Well, what a dramatic finish there, and Manchester City dropping a point, though of course it is important to keep picking up even single points when you're in trouble as they are. But as you can see, there's still a 4-point gap between them and Derby County for that last relegation place. And remembering, of course, now that there are only 7 games to go for those directly involved. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you again for watching us. Well, there's no doubt that the First Division battle is really hotting up again at the top, with Liverpool losing and those goals by Joe Jordan and Mickey Thomas putting Manchester United within reach of them again.
Orbiston, Thomas. And Jordan with the header! 1-0. Thomas. They let fly, is he? What a goal! Mickey Thomas, 2-0.